I think I've gone into labour. I feel like it's going to be peaceful. Oh, flakiest, crumbliest chocolate. Tastes like chocolate never tasted before. When we were growing up, when Bunny was growing up, I always feel like I'm growing up everywhere, but when Bunny was growing up, I was always around.
I guess you could say I had quite a neglected childhood.
I found that I was one of those mothers that loved her children, that was always around her children.
It's quite abusive, you know.
I would go out occasionally for a few weeks at a time. Bunny was always fine by herself, you know. She's a good baby.
My mum, she was always sort of, away.
Stay in that cot, and she did for a few weeks. Then come back and everything would be fine.
I suppose for me, I felt, quite on my own, but I suppose I wouldn't have turned out how I did. I've never really had a father figure.
I raised her right.
No one really ever seemed to care. Yeah.
I had a good friend. Her name was Diviana, and she liked to take control. She was a real controlling person.
Oh, I did have my godmother, Diviana. I love her. She's so good to me.
She was a bit wishy-washy, I found. She always said that she had 18 senses, something like that. I don't know, I don't watch Sensing Murder, but something like that.
Yeah, she just knew everything. She's so good to me. And my mum, she was never there.
I did play an active role in her raising. I always fancied myself a bit of a mum type, when I was a little girl. I used to be all the mum. My friends used to be the dads, lots of them.
Diviana was great. Yeah, she'd be any, she was a great father.
But I always found Diviana was a bad influence on Bunny.
She was my dad.
Yeah. I didn't really like, leaving her around the house with her. I left her around the house a lot, but not with Diviana.
I think she taught me, everything that possibly men couldn't teach me.
She used to tell me that I was a bad mother. Me.
I was quite rebellious. I started bringing home boys at quite a young age. Diviana taught me everything about that. She's so great.
Yeah, so I really think I did a good job, was around for a lot of her raising. Majority of her raising. So I'm a good mother.
I remember this one time, because, Divi lives with us. Divi had been out to the pubs. She's such a slut. Learned everything from her though. Anyway, she came home from the pubs, remember? The door opened. And we were in the lounge, having sex. Of course, he had his pants down and...
Bunny's father. Now, there's a story about him, actually, because he was a real dick, I found. 100% cock. Well, he just up and ran off when I was giving birth.
And Divi came in, and I thought, oh my gosh.
So I was sitting there, you know, heaving out the baby, and off he runs. Out of the house, out of my life, and out of Bunny's life, obviously.
And she goes, guys, that is never going to work. You can't do the dog position, okay? And she taught us everything from the eagle to the hippopotamus. It was so great.
That was quite an emotional relationship for me. Obviously, he was the father of my daughter. Well, yeah, for sure. I'm sure he's the father. Would have gone and done one of those paternal or fraternal tests or something, but, pretty sure. Yep, he's the dad.
I think when I first auditioned, they looked at me and they were just like, you've been doing this for a long time, haven't you? Because you're just great.